we need to talk. It's not you, it's me. This can't work. Many of us have received such and other quotations of before somebody says we are done, or rather officially says this is a breakup. But then not most of us are in that place where we are content to say, okay, fine, what's the way forward? How can I get to move on with this? How can I get to live a life without person X? It said it's very good to break up a courtship than a marriage. I agree. But then how do we deal with a breakup? To help me in this conversation is my friend, our resident guest, Alvin Mtunga. Vipi?
Poa sana.
You're good.
Very.
It's very interesting how smiling you and we are.
It's a solemn topic, I know, but we have to be.
It's natural to smile.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Next to her is our resident guest, Yvonne Alfreda. Hi.
Hi, Mangi.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you
Karibu
too.
sana. Next to me, ever smiling, Gloria Bonareri. Sikwambia fake. Hi.
Hi.
Karibu sana.
Thank you so
How
much.
have you
How
been?
are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you.
All right.
Habari ya watu wa kule chini
wanane.
down Nyanza.
Yende wako tu sawa.
Wako tu sawa.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And lastly, our elder, Edward Makumba. Karibu.
Praise God.
Amen. You're good.
Good.
Thank you very
You
much.
can see.
I can see you looking very good. Thank you. Please join us in our conversation through our social media platforms. That is Facebook, Hope Channel Kenya, and on Twitter is at Hope_Kenya. You can also find us. You can also find me on Facebook. That is Samuel Mangi, and on Twitter at Sami Maangi. You'll find this and more other shows. If you missed last week's show, find it on our YouTube page. That is Hope Channel Kenya. This show will also be on our website. That is www.hck.co.ke. Our gram page, Instagram is Hope Channel Kenya. Follow us and get to see what was happening behind the sets. No cakes today. Yeah, but I'm thankful. Thank you also for the guys having a birthday this week. We thank God for Facebook that you already know it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Now, Alvin.
Yeah.
Heartbreak.
Yes.
Or breakup.
Yes.
Let me just start it from a layman's language. What is a breakup?
Men and women are made to be emotional beings. And when they are connected emotionally, when that connection is severed, there is considered to be a break. And so that emotional disconnection is what we refer to as heartbreaks, in my opinion.
Is it a good thing?
It's riddled with a lot of emotion and not so good an emotion. So we would not expect it to be so good a thing to be desired after, but if it is for the right purpose, it is definitely advisable.
Right purpose, Gloria. Is there something like breaking up in the right purpose, really? Because look at it, it's not something that people will cheer about or call a celebration about it. Can you break up with somebody for a right purpose?
Well, yes, of course, you can break up with someone the right reasons and also the wrong reasons. But with me, the right reason is that if you see you're not compatible with someone right now, you better stop whatever is going on before it hits you later on when you're in too deep, because it will create a scar in your life.
But then, courtship is not something that, because we are all in sync about we should all court. Before you get to call that shot of this can't work, you must have gone through some processes. And some old folks or some parents will say, you know, I've seen very many men in your life, so I'm just tired of. Okay, at the time they are tired really, but you know. So, Yvonne, is it in such a situation? Don't you think it's just than just saying this cannot work? It is not you, it is me, or so many other reasons that people use.
But you're talking about the reason of breaking up with guys. There are many reasons of breaking up with guys. You may find the guy becomes violent. You may find he was pretending. You may find that out of nowhere some funny characters pop out that you cannot live with. You may find the guy might cheat on you. You may find that you're just not compatible. Just as zingine you can't force issues. Kama
Sasa,
mwiliwani tu.
hiyo part ya compatibility kwani ukujua kwanza sikia kwanza?
Saa zingine there are people who hold back.
It doesn't show.
It doesn't show immediately.
What do you mean? You need to make me understand how. As in wakati nakupasu, of course I'm being real with you, no? Or rather, at least for the good men who are true and they won't fake it, they'll be all in with you. So are you trying to tell me that if you fake up a little love to die?
It's not really about love. Last time Elder was talking about personality. You may find that your personality is mulijaribu wenyewe, but it's not just amwingiani. And I was continuing with the reasons of breaking up. You may find that someone was a good standing Christian and then something happened, aka backslide na mali amenda, you can't start preaching to that person. So you take a break from that. Some things you may find the parents will come and tell you, or even some friends might actually come and tell you some things that you don't know, because normally, as now this one I'm talking to the Christians, when you're dating as Christians, there are some things you will not find out. Like you're not going to go into that man's house and live with them and know the things he does in the house. And then you come out to find out that this person is practicing witchcraft, which people don't see outside here. So there are a number of reasons of breaking up, actually.
Elder, break up the moment somebody, there's this statement that in all relationships, once you kiss care, hi, things are not well. That statement of, boss, we need to talk. Have you had a breakup before? I won't speak of the others, but I know of some.
Yeah.
Have you had a breakup before?
As an individual.
You can't have a breakup as a multitude.
Now, of course, okay, yes. And
Let me bring in you to some that I want you to touch on. Breakup is such a heavy moment. There's nobody not unless you're not in your right state of mind, unless you're not serious with life, can you smile about a breakup with its weight. Is it really considered prudent? Because you're going to hurt that the other person's.
No, okay. Allow me to begin from this point, and let me allude from the Bible.
Okay.
Look at what happened to Judas. There was a breakup between Judas and Christ. He sold him. He betrayed him. What happened to Judas? After he realized the mess that he has done, he committed suicide. And in fact, if you see the challenges that we have in the world today, many people are committing suicide because of breakups. Now, who are they following? Judas. Fine. Number two, you're asking a question. Is it prudent? Because you know the magnitude of a breakup. There are some things which will be considered. And following the previous episodes that we've had, given that you followed the right procedure, but things still cannot work out, you can explore. More exploration can be done from counselors, from people of more experience, from parents. Remember, before I started moving with this lady, I went to the parents. Now, we have to go back to the drawing board. We do even things professionally as Christians, because I wish to see this lady in heaven someday. We're getting this point. So the point at which it reaches where people are breaking up, it is not in marriage. We are not talking about marriage breakups. We are talking about
Courtship.
And even let's call them relationships, though they don't exist. Engagements, and which at the end of the day, now the main reason why breakups come, they don't glorify God. God cannot allow His name to be profaned. So He loves. In fact, na akisema hapana, amesema hapana. Things cannot work out. So things happen for the will and the glory of who? God. So number one, let the breakups happen, but follow the right procedure. Not that you wake up in the morning, it's over. No, come on.
Now, thank you for laying that foundation. But then there's something that is still bugging my soul. I think we should probably talk about it. Is there a qualified and hefty reason that can sustain a breakup? Because personally, many people will say, all things can be sorted, apart from the things that are biological, like personality. But all other things can be sorted. Is there a reason that is hefty enough, like personality, of course, that can sustain a breakup? Or can everything be sorted?
When you consider love in itself, when two people are ensconced so much so, everyone gives in equal measure to ensure that the other benefits, of course, for the glory of God. But there comes a time when this other person, say, had a mask on, and then after staying with them for a while, the mask is now off, and you're seeing the real, raw character. And I remember in one of the shows, in one of the episodes, one of our guests here did say that there are essentials and non-essentials. There are things you can negotiate with, and there are things which you cannot do without. Yes. So there comes to that point where you draw the line, and the line is drawn from Christ's lessons. Yeah.
Gloria, with all these good reasons that we can find, why does it still have to be very painful? Because if you found a good reason of, me and you can't work, and you've clearly studied out, why should it be that painful?
Before you start courting or dating, let me say dating because of the nowadays term, dating.
People will call it dating.
Yes. Before you start dating, you are friends. You've made friendship with this guy or this lady. You have had thoughts with this person. And something very unusual ladies do, which is nowadays in our society, we go in too deep with this guy. You open your book to this person. He knows your in and out character, life, everything you do in your daily basis. And now it reaches a time he has started now behaving in a different way, or she has started behaving in a different way. You find that I cannot continue with this person. Now you go ahead and call off the relationship or whatever was going on. It won't be easy because there is a quote that says, love is like a drug. It's not easy to be left just like that. So obviously it will hurt your soul because there is a thing you've touched inside. It's a feeling. You've invested your feeling, not time or money. It's a feeling, and it cannot be remained. Yes.
There's something that Elder said that I want to bring you in, and even you can probably help us. See, friends have a way in telling us stuff. But then some weeks ago, there was this talk on radio of if you found the spouse, or the whoever that your fiancé, if you find the fiancé of your friend out there in compromising positions, or rather doing compromising acts, will you tell your friend? Now my question is this: what is the role of friends in relationships? We both know kuna vinyambizi, the guys who just come and slice your cheeks, like the lady you're intending to marry. What is the role of friends in a relationship, in a courtship, in this matter?
When you are asking if I will tell my friend, truth be told, it's not if you will tell your friend, it is how you tell your friend.
Will you first tell your friend?
Actually, I will. Because I love my friend enough to tell them, anyway, there's something that I saw, but you as a person should also check it out. Don't just, you cheated or jump or
if Gloria was my girlfriend, she'll tell you you're jealous of us. So people will also take that home.
I have done my part.
A real friend tells you the truth on your face and lies on your face. And tells you the truth on your face hawezi ficha. If he or she loves you enough, she'd rather save that tear you'll cry while she sing. I mean, how can I put
are you
it?
telling
Like
me-
in the Bible, when Peter was called 3 times, Jesus loved this person so much. It's very clear. But he was called 3 times. He betrayed him, and he was Jesus' friend. He cried because it tortured him. You know, that's what I'm trying to put. It was painful for him. So you can't tell me I will see someone doing a misbehaving outside there, my friend's
I will
boyfriend
see
or
it.
a fiance, then I won't tell my friend. No, that's not good.
Alvin, as you bring, does this mean you should tell them irregardless? Because you know that we both know the damage of heartbreaks. It's tearing.
Yes, true.
It's
True.
It's something that even affects somebody's psychology and even approach on how they will probably treat their the opposite sex when it comes to such a subject.
True.
Are you still going to tell your friend irregardless of that pain?
The beauty of courtship, the way the Lord has guided us over time from counsel, is that you need to do a background check, you know, before you set the ball rolling. Background checks. Where do you do these background checks? From friends, from family, from colleagues who are strong in the faith, whose word you can count on. Yes. So if I see a friend and they are not doing the right thing, Scripture asks me a question: who sees a friend's cow in the ditch, yeah, and passes it without giving assistance? Yeah. Essentially, I'm here to help a friend to get to heaven. You know, I would correct he who is in error, and I would inform in the right manner so that it is well guided. Now back to the first question: why breakups are painful? In the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, and this is verse 13. Yeah, in the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 13.
Just go ahead.
Yes, it has this to say: a merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance. A merry heart makes a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken. Essentially what it's saying, that when the heart is sorrowful, then the whole thing, the whole spirit is broken, the whole self is broken down. And essentially emotions are a manifestation of something from the heart. Yeah. Sometimes you're usually told, do not love so much, do not put your heart out there. But again, love is about selflessness. It's about connecting. And you connect with heart and mind, you know. So when the heart is sorrowful because it has lost a connection that was supposed to be fruitful, then it brings pain.
It pains that you still have to say the truth. It pains that you need to correct your brother and sister and
Yes.
tell them, boss,
Yeah.
this is what I've seen.
Yes.
And if you ask me this the wrong way, elder, one thing that we cannot dismiss is that we have friends who have other ulterior motives. For example, he's probably seeing Alfreda. Thank Lord for Alfreda is having a fiance. Now, I have to thank the Lord for that. There are many. Now, I see Alfreda, I'm like, oh damn, she's the one, man. She's the one, man, and I want her. We have friends who are jealous to that extent, who are willing to go an extra mile to spoil a relationship so that they can get to
Now,
the submarines in our lives. How do we get to see these are false claims, and how do we get to deal with such friends? Because you could don't to bash them out and then tell them, wewe, I've seen you in Mokoneko Mbali.
yeah, I think that's actually what is actually happening right away. You know them by their works, right? And you know whose works are they doing. Because we have two parties. It's either you're on Christ's side or on the devil's side.
But equally, Peter was with Jesus till the last time. Judas was with Jesus mpaka mwisho na hapo ndo alimbetray. How can you tell? Because truth be told, I've personally met some friends, and also I was with one friend a few weeks ago when aliniambia my best friend ndio alinislice dem yangu. Best friend yangu ndio alichukua dem yangu. Yaani ni kama alikuwa anaongoja tu hivi. Will you break up leo? 1 week later, ni aje si come meet my girlfriend. How do we get to identify, and how can we manage that situation?
Allow me to begin from this point that we only have one friend. and that is Jesus. And so it is through Jesus that we are able to make friends. And so before you open up your life to me, Sam, I think as I met Alvin here and even my sisters, it is not easy that they can open up to me the same day. We must have interacted. We must...
A couple of times.
We share so many things in common. Now, what will happen in this case is where the foundation of that which is going to be, of the foundation of this relationship in Iwapi. Because if it is based on selfish motives, even God can use your friend to break it up and to end it, to save you, not to hurt you. You know, the problem we have is that we are narrow, we are narrow-minded. Yani, we look things in one. We have biasness.
We have one dimension.
We are one-dimensional, and you see, even those are those people who did three-dimensional in mathematics. Still in thinking you are how are you able to do that? You calculate an area of a triangle. You know, you are told from this glass there is a diagonal moving from this point down. Now, please extract and find that angle. It, you know, and people could get all the marks, but just when it comes to thinking, it does not happen, because where we have built our foundation is on ourselves and not on the owner of this. Another point I want to say on the same is that having understood this, some things happen for good, as we had said before. So, and there are good breakups and there are bad breakups. Sini ukweli. Now, good breakups ni zile, like, you people you see, hata we unaona, you can't, you know, there is a difference between a companion and mates. You know, you had so many classmates, but you will end with one mate.
So nice analogy. That's a good analogy.
The problem that is happening is that we are trying to be a mate with everyone. Are you getting this? A mate with everyone who comes around. And I saw her correcting tight in the charge. Oh, no. Wait. And now, let me give you a practical example.
Friend,
Alvin,
yes.
Before you go that extent, allow me to now
quickly,
say something. Quickly,
yeah.
Point number one, what actually makes breakups? Let me talk about us here. Number one, I as an Adventist man, I know what it requires and whom I want, an Adventist lady. And so, you know, sometimes someone will intentionally compromise. Are you getting this? And because of this intentional compromise, and when it is committed, or when this person is committed to compromising, now you cannot move on with this person, because you'll be wasting time. Now, what will happen here is that God, najua kuna ile itafika point unasema nataka kuvumilia huyu mtu, but God useme nataka kuvumilia. There is that point hata unaona things can't work out.
Accept.
Yeah, you have to accept this.
Alvin, let me bring you in.
I remember a time a friend who once joked that amo represents accept and move on.
Not a friend. You said it. Amo ni mtu umeachwa, amo unatafuta, alafu juu imekushinda you amo. Accept and move on.
Accepting and moving on. And here's why. The pain essentially is describable from the fact that you have invested much in it. You have given, and especially like a lady, and ladies are very generous. They're open books, you know. And you as a guy have received an open book. Instead of writing the story of Christ, you write your own story in your own perspective and in your own context. Then you destroy the open book, and now you want to shut it and move to another open book. And that in itself is a cause of the pain.
I need to, because time is quickly winding up.
Yeah.
Now, Yvonne, not just women, but this has been seen in women, Sana. We'll get to men. Women have this tendency of, once you march from a breakup, there's a wall that you create about men. A certain wall. I'm not judging. Sometimes it's there to protect you. That is a very good thing. But then, if that wall is created, does that heal? And if it doesn't, how can I get to that point of acceptance and realize, by the way, this is, you know?
Breakups, most of the time, for you to heal from a breakup, it's a process. You don't break up with this one, you jump to that one. They call it a rebound.
And if you do, then you are not really in a relationship.
Yes. But some actually do that trying to find what they are lacking from what they broke off from, which actually creates more hurt. because I'll be going to elder looking for Maangi, and they are two different people. So it won't work again, and then I break up with that one. I go to Alvin trying to find Maangi and elder, and then it doesn't work again. So it becomes a ripple, and it hurts a lot. Most of the time, you're usually told, don't take less than an year to heal. Take your time, find your footing, because you are used to sharing your life with this person. Find your footing on your own.
What happens to that person mwenye ana feel boss time imeenda? We'll come to that after this short break. Guys, stay with us. This conversation is, we need prayers, and for you to understand this, you also need to consecrate your life, so that if you are in that stage, you need to allow Christ to work in you, so that you can be able to move on, get on to the next stage in life. Be with us after this. Be with us after the break, and also be blessed by the talent segment.
My name is Caswell. I like to call myself Kazini. And this is the identity, the talent section. Welcome.
have all gone through it, if not all, some, and what they can quickly say, it's painful, and you can't afford to walk down that path alone, lest you'll get out of that path with a lot of remorse, resentfulness, and even being bitter to some people who contribute in your life. You're watching Hope Channel Kenya, The Identity. We are talking about how to deal with breakups, and we have Alvin, Yvonne, Gloria, and Elder Makumba to share with us now. Please, because time is quickly running, how do I get to deal with this situation, Gloria? How do I get to deal with this so that I do not walk out of this relationship and hating all men, I'm saying I'm never going to date again?
Stereotype is the last thing people should do.
Stereotype is what we should help us, we should rather pull from.
Yes, because let me put it out loud. You shouldn't say men are dogs for the ladies, and men shouldn't say ladies are players. Don't stereotype people. How you should battle with breakups, just be in peace. Walk through this alone. We had a discussion before you came through this, and I love the way I love the way Yvonne talked to me. She told me you should walk through every pain you have in your soul, because that's the only way you'll fight issues in yourself. You can't go around telling everyone. You can't go drink. You can't go party. You can't go dating several people to fit into what you went through. That is just not helpful. You're more hurting yourself.
Also, one thing that should also got is that as we bring in Elder, is that people have had that experience, and they're like, especially now, let me speak for men. We need doom, you know, we hold it in, walk forward as if nothing happened. Men have been brought up in that kind of society that makes you like a solid rock, that it's like you're emotionless. The moment that we men actually realize how
Sam, you are growing. You are turning emotional. Now, the point I want to say is this. Breakups are real, and when a breakup has taken place, that tells you are doing the wrong thing. And I said before in a different episode that there is that vacuum that is in us. It needs to be filled by Christ first. So if there is a breakup, no, there is no Christ. Because where Christ, these things can't go amiss. Number two, God is faithful. The temptation and the breakup has come for everyone. Everything happens is to test us. So let us face the reality. Like we are facing the reality not with our jests, but with Jesus in the vessel. Point number three, how to deal with the breakups. The first thing, you didn't understand what you're doing, what love is. Please go to the Bible study. The first thing is Bible study. Prayer is the key. Bible study. Then find where you can worship. Carry your songbook, carry your lesson book, carry your Bible, participate in lesson, comment as if nothing has happened, because God is faithful. The last thing, share. Go for visitations, meet people. You are not sharing your sorrows and testimonies. We are not happy to hear sad stories on how you are of breakups. I need to hear how I need to put my waist right because Jesus is coming soon. So I've given 4 points. The first one is prayer, Bible study, worship, and sharing. You can overcome these things.
Thank you. One thing that I should also borrow from there as I bring you, Alfreda, is that after a breakup, immediately after a breakup, be in that room of acceptance. Mm-hmm. And after accepting, do not go and look for rebounds to fill in that vacuum that has been left. Let's fill in that man who has exited, or that lady who has exited in our lives with Christ. Because it's something that worshiping Christ does. It brings your heart at peace. Tamaliza show.
Imagine you're allowed to cry.
As a man too.
Even as a man, you're allowed to cry, as in scream it out, let it out. Go have some you time somewhere. Cry it out, scream it out, write it down if you have to. Don't destroy yourself in the process. But make sure you've had the chance to grieve, because this is a loss. it is a loss. It is a loss of itself, yes. It's a loss as in someone has left your life. Someone who had taken a particular position in your life has left. So you're allowed to grieve. And after that, as you were saying, pray, talk to God, take your time, learn you. Because at times, when you get into a relationship, you take each other's personalities and it's sort of intertwined.
And it looks like this amazing.
Yes. So take time and find yourself. I still said, take time to find your footing. After you found your footing, then now again you can open yourself up to be loved again. There are good people out there, and probably you didn't break up with this person because it was a bad person. It wasn't just working. So there are good people out there. Don't steal your time. Take your time, and after you've taken your time, enough time, and now I can be able to at least open up my heart to someone else. Give another person a chance. And make sure you spend time on your knees, because on your knees, that's when you can be able to be lifted up by Christ to get out of that particular situation.
Most battles are won not because of might,
Yes.
not because of the number of people you have in your army, but it's the strategy. And the only strategy you can give right now is the word of God.
Yeah.
Go back to Christ.
From that point, I would pick and read Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be, now listen, Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, and finally, the Prince of Peace. There comes a depression after, breakups, and people tend to close themselves in. You want to eat a lot, you want to maybe not eat at all, or you want to be silent and not talk to people. Find the Wonderful Counselor. Find he who is the Prince of Peace. It says here in Luke chapter 4, verse 18, that the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, and to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, and to set liberty to them that are bruised. Heartbreaking is a time of bruising. Bruises the heart. Heartbreaking is a time of sorrow, because you're not very happy for the loss. But then find he who's able to feel that spot. My sister has rightly said that finding yourself is more in the aspect of knowing who owns you. I know that who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all, and I can put all my trust in him because I know he can hold the day.
Amen.
Yes. So finding that favor in him is in itself an healing spirit.
Thank you so much. As we come to an end, there's also I will also want to say that most of us have gone through this experience and are not willing to open up for correction, or rather to go out and actually look for a counselor to help in this. Because most of us think that I can do this by myself. That's self-reliance. Fine, you can, but then you can't do it alone. If you can't go and open up to a counselor, there's only one person you can open up to. That is Christ. And don't walk out of a relationship hating the other person. This is one thing that has also affected us as youths. You walk out of a relationship where like, I hate you, I will never speak to you, I'll never call you. Unfortunately, you can't live an island. That he who you'll remorse right now is the person who's going to give you a job tomorrow. Talk to your exes. Forgive them. Be friends. Learn to move on despite the experience. Because one thing that I learned, one thing that doesn't break it makes you. If that was a breakup, it made you stronger. It made you wiser in your choices and how you're going to move forward with it. Also, one thing that should also come out is that despite what you've gone through, despite everything, Christ is all in all.
True.
If Christ is the pillar and the center, as he said, he is faithful. He will lead us. But maybe there's someone who's watching is asking us, is there really an actual experience that you could share? I could share a couple, and they could share a couple. But then we want to share one experience, and of a lady that we had an interview with. Please watch and hope that this experience will be able to connect us, because this thing is real. It hurts, but we will only move a step forward to Christ and also in life if we accept it. And let us not be in denial and try to, like, since I can't work with Elder, let me try and see if we can, like, trying to pursue it further to see if, the chances. A story was published last year on October 3rd. A friend of mine, Brenda Mbalanya, brought out her story, and it's a pleasure to have you again on set.
Thank you.
Now, we have been talking about how to deal with breakups. Your story brought out another angle at it. How was your breakup like?
My breakup, well, I can't, words can't aptly describe it, because it was one moment we are there, the next moment we're just not there. So it wasn't like verbal or with action. You just kind of sensed it, that it's done.
The article brought out an aspect of it was nasty. Remember when you were talking about it out there, you wouldn't quickly justify it was nasty. How will you describe it if you were given the, how can I call it, the choice of words? How will you call it?
Well, nasty was quite, nasty is not exactly my best choice of word, because it wasn't nasty. It was just quite emotional for me, yes.
How bad were you damaged?
It was damaged to a whole new level, but here we are.
Tell me, how did it go through? How? Because everybody has their story of, oh, tulipigana, or we had a quarrel and then everybody threw hands to each other and walked their way. How was yours?
I never had I wish I would have beaten him up, but I couldn't. But for me, after I discovered what he did, I just cried the night away, because I remember it was on a Friday. I just cried the night away till Sabbath morning, and on Sabbath you just put on your Sabbath face and act like nothing ever happened.
What did he do?
He conned me of quite some amount of money.
Are you willing to share?
I'm not. I really do not want to say the amount, because, well, due to legal reasons. But yeah, he conned me, and then, yeah, I also discovered he had someone else. Yeah.
How did you know he conned you? Because ideally, boyfriends have this formula of, I'm kind of broke, How did you know he was a con artist?
It was through a friend, because I used to I didn't send him all the cash at once. He'd just call and, hi, I am kind of held up, I'm kind of broke, help me out, I'll return it. And when you're in love, these things. So I used to send him. So a friend of mine, a very close friend, one day she called me and asked me, Brenda, where are you? I told her, I'm in such a place at such a time. And the first question she asked was, have you sent him any amount of money, or have you given him any valuable? And I was like, I haven't given him any valuable, but I have sent him some cash. And she sent me tons of evidence to support the claim that he's a con artist. So that day was, whew.
When you received that information, because I believe there's somebody who's at home who's watching and is probably battling with dealing with the breakup right now, I have to say it is very interesting on how you're smiling on set, but then there's somebody who's crying probably months, what will you tell that person? Because he's going through tough times.
One, I will advise that it is okay to go through the hurt. Many of us want to try to put a brave face, trying to act strong, But it is okay to cry. It is okay to feel hurt. It actually helps in the healing process. And also have a good support system. By then, I think my parents, up to now, I'm not so sure if they know about this story, but a good number of friends who knew before it was published really were there for me. They'd call me every time to check on how I was doing, and that concern was very good. And the more I slowly talked about it, the more I vented it out. The relief that came was very massive. So I'd advise the person right now to go through the hurt, but also have a good support system, and above all, talk to God about it. There are sometimes I remember I argued with God about it, like, why did it have to happen to me and not to anyone else? And God slowly answered it in a different way. Of course, he didn't tell me why it was me. That was quite self-centered, but he told me to just stay put and relax, and he will be in control. Not that I have gotten the money back, really, or I have gotten back the time that I wasted, but the lessons that I have learned therein have really helped me grow up to this point in time.
Now, you went through the hands, so to speak, of a con artist. But when there's somebody who has gone through hands of a violent relationship, or rather, so call it a toxic relationship of any kind, and probably they are in denial, what will you tell that person? Because probably the individual, probably the man friend, the lady friend has gone. What will you tell that person who's still in denial?
The fact is that person has gone, and no matter how many times you try to bargain with yourself that maybe you are on the wrong, or maybe you didn't do this much to avert the trouble that has been, it will not help any matters. It will just aggravate the situation the more, and you will not go forward with your life. You will not move on with it. So truthfully speaking, it's time to wake up and smell the coffee, and it is good to accept that it has happened and look on the bright side of life. There are lessons you must have learned out of it that will help you grow and mold you as a person, not only in your spheres of relationships, but also at work, at school, or wherever other place you will be. So I'd advise the person to get out of that bed of self-pity, of pity-patting himself or herself in this matter, and just let it go. Yeah.
Most of the people who have gone through this heartbreaking situation always go to a cocoon of self-fault. Rather, they are more likely they want to choose who they're going to blame. And most of us, or them who have gone through it, end up to blame themselves. What can you advise somebody who's in that blame game situation?
As I have said, self-faulting wouldn't help. I don't want to underestimate the fact that maybe you will have played a role in it, but that is not sufficient enough to lay a whole lot of blame on yourself. So it's good to forgive yourself, and it's good to accept that in this case, if he went away, it didn't have to be necessarily about you. Maybe it was about himself. So in this case, I'd advise the person to let go, forgive himself or herself if he had anything to do with it, and move on. Because the more you blame yourself, the more you're in denial, and you're actually giving the other person the power to control you, whether physically or not. Yeah.
Thank you so much. The story is out there. You can go and read it. And interestingly, she's not the only one who was captured in that article. And most of us have to come to an understanding that you know, it has happened. You need to deal with it, and self-pity will help, but not in the long run. Instead, you'll be carrying carcasses to other relationships.
True.
Probably, I could ask you as we come to a close. Having learned the lesson that you learned in your previous relationship, there's somebody who will go with a different attitude, be it positive or negative, to the other relationship. What can you tell them, or rather, how have you handled such a situation?
While carrying baggages to a new relationship can be very messy, especially if it has a very promising start. So I'd advise, before you enter any other relationship, you need to clear your baggage. Because when you walk into a new one, you want to be a new person, you're starting on a clean slate. So it will not make sense if you burden the other person with your baggage. So take time off, treat yourself, and have a healing process that is very effective. So once you come out of it, you're a new person, and the baggage has died. You have forgiven yourself where necessary, and the other person as well. So you walk into a new relationship, a new person, and ready to begin new things. Yeah, without anything holding you back.
Healing is key to dealing with a breakup.
True.
And accepting equally is very important.
True.
Well, you had it. I couldn't say any better. Thank you, Brenda.
You're very much welcome.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Stay tuned till the end. We can't speak much about this. Please share with us about what you think on how to deal with breakups. Our social media handles again, they are Facebook, Hope Channel Kenya, and on Twitter is at Hope_Kenya. You can also find me on Facebook, that is Samuel Mangi, and on Twitter is at Sami Mangi. Our Instagram page is Hope Channel Kenya. This show and many others are going to be archived in our YouTube channel, Hope Channel Kenya, and also it's going to be on our website, that is www.hck.co.ke. Share with us, interact with us, and share advice, because your comments are going to be read by many who are going to be uplifted with that comment that you're going to put on our wall. Be blessed.